Lawyers, don't get caught naked without professional liability, office business insurance with data breach, and workers' comp. Your host, Michael Carroll, is the country's leading expert for these areas. He knows what you need to properly protect your law firm. That's not all. Michael also talks to top lawyers and top business experts on how to increase revenues. It all makes sense. Cover all bases for your law business to eliminate being caught naked. Here's Michael.
Welcome, everybody. Great to see you. Appreciate you joining my show today, where I have as a guest Christopher Anderson, who is a VP and General Counsel of How to Manage a Small Law Firm, who are the leading providers of CEO, CFO, and COO services nationally for single shareholder law firms and small law firms. Christopher today is going to share how important it is to have systems and how easily you can implement that. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, lawyers watching this, an absolute game changer. You're going to thank me for this after you watch this episode. Number two, I always like to say that leaders are readers. If you examine all of the billionaires of the world, or even millionaires, they commit themselves to blocking out all cell phones, all interruptions, all distractions, and they read a minimum of 1 hour a day. And by doing that, you can knock out easily 30 to 40, maybe even 50 pages during that time. And that's how you can, again, easily read 52 books a year. It's the old adage that knowledge is power, and reading is like putting your brain on steroids. So today we're going to review a book called The Wedge by Randy Schwantz, which you're really going to enjoy it, and it's a great book, as I always like to do. Is that better for the show, everyone, to keep it like this? But anyway, you'll really enjoy a couple of simple techniques that I've applied in my business. And every book I review, I've read, and I'm going to share the reason when I share about the book, how it's helped my business. Because at the end of the day, whether you're an insurance professional, insurance broker like I am, protecting law firms, their professional liability, the office business insurance, workers' comp, and what have you, or the harassment, discrimination, unfair termination, and on, or you run a successful law firm, we're all in the same business. The same principles apply, if you will. So anyway, you'll enjoy that. So let's get to the interview with Christopher Anderson, again, who's the VP and General Counsel of How to Manage a Small Law Firm. But before we get to that, let's get to this week's book review. Michael Carroll here. Take a moment to think about how you found your current insurance broker. Was it on the recommendation of a colleague or the bar? Or is it a friend or someone who belongs to the same country club, church, or temple? Or did you find them on the internet? All very normal and fine until it isn't. And when it isn't, you'll be out of business. See ya. Goodbye. From defense limit issues to deductible issues to no protection for personal autos being used on firm business to data breach risks that are by far the biggest risk any professional office faces. This is a difference between not having to worry about your insurance versus hoping it is all good until again it isn't, and then you become another sad tale. Let the nationally awarded and recognized experts and insuring lawyer share how easy it is to get an analysis where all the comparisons will be done for you and all fatal gaps that could ruin you are plugged so you are no longer naked. Nice glass of water there. Water is good. Anyway, today's book review, I'll keep my day job. Comedy is not my future. Today's book review is The Wedge by Randy Schwantz. I read this book many, many years ago. And again, regardless of what business you're in, you've got to attract new clients, as we'll call it the prospect, as it's commonly known. And a lot of times I witness it. And when I began my career 28 years ago, I was going to go in there and dazzle them with my vivacious and incredible personality and talk about me, and we've been in business since, and I've been doing this and that. That doesn't work at all. I mean, that's terrible. That's what a horrible way to go about it. So what in the book, The Wedge, what it talks about, think about it, you're putting a wedge between the incumbent and you. And what you do is it's twofold, and you'll read about it. It's an easy read. It's not a very long book. You'll be able to blow through it in one day if you want to commit yourself to it. But at the end of the day, what they talk about are two things, okay? Number one, building rapport. That's common. That's not anything new. But number two, finding out if there is dissatisfaction in the current relationship with the incumbent lawyer, in my case, insurance broker. Otherwise, if there isn't, if they are happy as can be, they love the product, they love the service, you move on to the next. Not everyone, you can close everyone. Mark Cuban talks about that. You put your best foot forward. You're prepared. You've got an awesome product. You are awesome. They come back with an objection, and if you can't overcome that objection, you go. But a great way to do that, what Mark Cuban assumes you know, is they talk about in the Wedge, Randy Schwantz talks about, is finding out what the dissatisfaction is or the pain point and utilizing that. So anyway, it's a great read. You can get it on Amazon. Again, The Wedge, Randy Schwantz. You can pick it up on Amazon for around $23. Highly recommend that you get it. Pour yourself a nice cup of coffee, an iced tea, water, and I'll be right back with my guest, Christopher Anderson, again, the VP General Counsel of How to Manage a Small Law Firm. We're going to talk about systems that you are going to absolutely love and implement in your business.
Get a free copy of Michael Carroll's best-selling book, The Naked Lawyer, mailed to you today to discover how to avoid the 7 deadly sins on your lawyer's professional liability, office business insurance, including data breach, and workers' comp insurance, plus how to correct them while saving huge premium dollars too. Simply call 24/7 to hear a recording at 866-843-0101 or by visiting www.insuringlawyerbook.com.
As promised today, I've got Christopher Anderson as my guest, and Christopher is the VP and General Counsel of How to Manage a Small Law Firm, who are the leading providers of CEO, CFO, and COO services nationally to single shareholder law firms and small law firms. Christopher is going to share today some information that is going to blow you away. And before we get into that, welcome, Christopher, to the show.
Well, thank you, Michael. I really appreciate it. Really good to be here.
Terrific. Well, Christopher, the last time I saw you a couple months ago at the live quarterly meeting, which we'll talk about at the end of our session today, when the next one is, and why someone watching this, a lawyer watching this, wants to attend. I heard you talk about in front of hundreds of lawyers about systems, and I was taking notes that I was able to apply. I took it back to my office, and Stacy, who runs my office, who's in here today, is I'm speaking with you. We implemented that, and it's groundbreaking. It not only works for law firms, but it works in every business because the basic tenets of a business, the 7 functions, if you will, of a business, apply to whether it's a law firm or an insurance brokerage. But what exactly, for lawyers watching today, what exactly do you mean by systems, and why is that so critical for a law firm to implement those and practice those in their daily success of their law firm?
Yeah, the systems, and it's really, if you'll remember from the live quarterly meeting, the way I'll describe it here, systems are really important because they describe everything that happens and how it happens inside a business. And you can really think of it as the same way that organisms work, the same way that nature works. Everything is a system, and each system has a subsystem, and every subsystem is itself a system with its own subsystems, on and on and on, both down and up, no matter, as in fractals, no matter how far you zoom in or how far you zoom out, it always looks very much the same. The systems consist of subsystems, consist of subsystems. And each, in a business, there are 7 primary subsystems that comprise the system that is the business. There are the marketing systems and subsystems, and then the sales systems and subsystems. There is the production systems, how the actual work that got sold gets done, subsystems and subsystems. There's the people, and all the human resources. There's the physical plant. The building itself is a system of subsystems. There's the computer systems. There's the policies and procedure systems. There's all the different subsystems that make up the physical plant. Then there's your money and your metrics, all the things that you measure. There are systems to measure. We call those things, charts of accounts and budget variance reports, profits and losses. All those things are actually systems with subsystems and subsystems that we have to look into. And then finally, the biggest system in a business, or the most important system in a business, is you. And you yourself consist of many subsystems and subsystems and subsystems. So let's, as an example, let's think about the physical plant. It's the one that we can all wrap our heads around the most easy, right? Most businesses exist in a building. Some don't. We can talk about those separately, but those that do, the building is a system, right? And what is this? So what is a system? A system is a defined set of inputs and outputs that are formed by a policy. This system exists to accomplish X. In the building, this system accomplishes to keep the rain off our heads and to secure our computer systems and to store our paper and to do all these things. And then there's procedures about how that system works. We come in the morning, we open it up, we unlock this stuff, we put on the coffee, and then at the end of the day, we close it. And then there's exemplars and templates and checklists. So when we open this building, we do X, Y, Z, 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. And when we close the building, we do that. And then, but of course, each one of those things is a subsystem into itself, right? So just let's say we turn on the air conditioning. Well, the air conditioning is a system. And the air conditioning is a system that is comprised of itself of subsystems that we don't think about when we talk about it as a subsystem. But once you drill down, sure enough, it's got compressors and blowers and thermostats. And then the compressor is a system. And the compressor has pistons and fluids, and everywhere you go, you can drill down and you can drill up. And the trick in running a small business is to be sure that you pay attention to the systems and the subsystems to a certain level, but don't get lost in the details. And different levels of the organization need to pay attention to different levels of the systems. Now, why we pay attention to these in developing a business is that each one of these systems, nobody really knows in any given business what the best system is going to be. We have a hypothesis. And this goes for a marketing system, and this I think it can become most relevant in marketing, but it really applies everywhere. We have a hypothesis that this is the right way to do things. Well, the only sure way we can arrive at the right way to do things is to try out our hypothesis, see if we agree that that is the best way, see if it gets the results that we predict. We form a hypothesis that says if we do it this way, the inputs will be X and the output should be Y. If the output is as good or better than Y, then maybe we have a good subsystem. If it isn't, then we try a different one. So that's in a nutshell what we were talking about with systems and subsystems.
Which is terrific. Now, you touched on something that I think most small businesses, and I was guilty of it in year 28, many years ago, you think that a lot of what goes on is just naturally happening, and some of the items are naturally going to occur. I mean, life will go on. Days go by, turn into weeks, turn into months, and people are just flying by the seat of their pants. But it's funny you discussed about having systems or I like to call them sometimes workflows, where you can implement how to turn on the air conditioning at what time. Because if you are paying for the utilities, like I do at my building because I own it, it is a big deal to me. Because if we don't have it, we have an automatic timer, but even on the weekends, when we have staff working and I have some tenants, there's a system set up that has to be followed. And if they don't follow it, they're not allowed to touch it. But that's where we keep the electric bill down because that's something we can't control. But we even talk about how to open the building. You talked about that, Christopher, where there's a protocol. Turn off the alarm. Bring in the newspaper. If you get in early enough, turn on the air if it's not a program, or the heat, for example, if it's the winter. These all add up, and it's the way you answer the telephone. It needs to be consistent, and it has to work. And I love what you talked about testing it too, which leads right into my next question. When you talked about the 7 different parts of a business, the systems, you talk about marketing. It's so many of us who own businesses, Christopher, as you know, want to go out and drive new business. That's something that's very exciting, if you will, to go out and conquer new clients and bring them in. You get to meet new people. The revenues are coming in. But I remember you shared that a lot of small businesses, and I again made that mistake, I went en masse. I built like this whole marketing campaign, big website, $5,000-$10,000 of marketing expense and all of the above without testing that system. The hypothesis, the try was like, I was going to go up there and get one swing at it. If I walked into a casino with $100,000, I was going to walk in and play roulette and put it all on black or red. Whereas that's not fine money management. You better study what game you're going to play. But why don't you share about testing and how common it is that you see a lot of small businesses, law firms specifically to you, Christopher, make that mistake of trying something, and then they become discouraged or they don't understand why it didn't work, and they've, in fact, shot their load. They've emptied their chamber, of bullets, if you will.
Yeah. So, and it's interesting, actually, in a casino, actually the best money management you can do is to walk right in. If you're going to play roulette, is to put it all on black, one roll, win or lose, you leave. That's not how it works in business, because business is not a casino. Business is a predictable, repeatable set of systems that have predictable, repeatable outcomes. It's just that in any given business, in any given time of year, in any given year, with any different demographic, in any different location, nobody actually knows which one of the bets is going to pay off. One of them will, more than one will, but some won't. And to avoid, as you said, just completely wasting or blowing all the rounds out of the chamber by putting all your bets on one, where there's no consultant in the world can tell you this is definitely going to work or this isn't. It is best to spread your bets and to keep a lot of your powder dry. So, for instance, in marketing, if you have a hypothesis that there's a good thing to do, it's better to actually form 4 or 5 or 6 hypotheses, make small bets on each of them over a short period of time, have very strong hypotheses about this will be a good result if it returns 10x, 20x on my investment, and then watch and see what happens. Very quickly, some will show themselves to be poor bets, and some will show themselves to be good bets, and some will show themselves to be great bets. Then you take the money off the table from the not so good bets, and you apply that to the great bets, and maybe you let the good bets cook along for a little while to see how they actually end up turning out. But the end result is that you're continually moving your assets from things that aren't so sure to things that are more sure, and thereby getting a better return on your investment and learning all the way. And one thing to really understand about marketing dollars is that the failures are not failures. When the things that don't pan out, that's right. Not a failure. That's called learning. And it's success. It's a path to success. You don't get there by not failing. You get there by failing fast and failing cheap so that you can reapply your limited resources to the ones that will be successful.
That is so true. And now everyone, lawyers watching this today, now I would hope that they're saying, ooh, okay, I like this. This is something I think I can do on my own. But share, Christopher, and it's certainly through trial and error. Through a 28-year career, until I got a coach, and I'm in the lawyers watching today, what Christopher and his team do and all of his associates is they give you the support you need, and I have that in my industry. There's a gentleman out of Ottawa, Ontario, up north of, or Perth, Ontario, north of Ottawa, Ontario, up past Toronto, who does the same for me. Because in and of myself, it's very difficult to figure this out on your own, and you do become discouraged because you are your own judge, jury, and executioner. But this is a situation where you now have someone to guide you through. So systems that worked for other similar or comparable law firms should be more sure bets if you're willing to follow through and do it exactly the same way. And that's it. And when you talk about subsystems, that's the same idea where then you can build off of that, where you can say, here's a great marketing campaign we're doing. Now let's test it a little bit. Let's tweak it to try this, to bring in a new class of business. If you're trying to expand, say, for example, an area of practice, or you want to limit your areas of practice, and you want to raise the bar. Say you don't want to, if you're a criminal defense lawyer, you may want to say, I'm going to raise the bar a little bit. Or if personal injury, there are only certain cases you want to take, and then you've got a system in your office that the junior partner or an associate lawyer takes it on. And those are all great things I've seen you do. So, well, as I always like to say, as we watch, as these episodes go on, lawyers have to be sitting there saying, this is just incredible information. Christopher, if they wanted to contact you, what would be the easiest way to contact you to discuss this more, to make an appointment, get on the phone with you online? What are the easiest ways to do this, to contact you?
Yeah, the absolute easiest way is to go to howtomanageasmalllawfirm.com. And the first thing that you can do there, because this is one of our systems, is that you can learn about us, and you can learn what we can do and what we can't do for you, and begin to make a decision about whether we're even the right business to help you with your business. So we provide that information there and we've tested it, and we've learned over time that the way we've got it right now really helps people to decide whether they want to learn more. If you do, you go to the bottom of that website and you click on the link to make an appointment, and you make an appointment to speak to somebody on my team or myself to learn a little bit more about how we might be helpful to you. And once every quarter, just like the one you came to, we have a meeting where new people who are going to join us, come and meet the coaches and meet the program for the first time, and are able to make their final decision as to whether or not we're the program to work with them.
Now let's talk about that. That's excellent. The timing of the show is excellent. October 16th through the 18th is your next what is termed live quarterly meeting. The acronym
That's
is
right.
LQM. This is not, as I say, lawyers watching this is not a one and done deal. This is not something that you're going to learn. It's not a magic pill. But in the same context, that's a good thing because too often things like that don't work. Lose weight quick schemes, get rich quick schemes. That doesn't exist. If it's too good to be true, it isn't. Share what the live quarterly meetings are, Christopher, for current members, how it is a consistent, you attend every quarter, and the value that's brought into that. So someone watching this doesn't think I'm just going to come one time and my life's going to be transformed overnight. It will be transformed, but it's going to get better each time you attend. So why don't you share exactly, for those who are watching who are new, why they want to attend October 16th through the 18th in Eden Rock, at the Eden Rock property in South Beach, which is Miami, Florida, for those that don't recognize South Beach right away, and share how they can, why they want to come and how they can register to come, because this is something, lawyers watching, you have to go see for yourself in person. I promise you. I'm just teasing you today with Christopher and Systems. Go see this live, I promise you. And if you do go, by the way, I'll be there, and that's worth the price of admission because you get to meet me, the star of the Naked Lawyer Show. But all kidding aside, if you do go, certainly seek me out, and I'd love to sit with you and buy you a drink and chat or grab a meal together, my treat. But Christopher, again, how do they find information to attend as that's coming up here soon? And two, what is what is it all about? Does it cost money? Is there a guarantee?
Yeah.
And why don't you share with that, please?
Exactly. So yeah, you go to the howtomanageasmalllawfirm.com website and to learn more about it. If you decide to go, it's $1,000 to come. And that $1,000, what you're buying is the half-day orientation on Friday, October 16th. At the end of that, you decide whether you're going to stick around for the live quarterly meeting or not, because that's your last opportunity to really learn enough to make the decision for yourself about whether working with us will be profitable for you. If you decide to stay, you join, you pay your membership fee, and you're in for the weekend. And you're in not just for these live quarterly meetings, but you get assigned a CEO to help you with your business, to help you set priorities, who's going to meet with you month after month after month to help you set your priorities and hold you accountable to what you say you're going to do in order to continue to grow your business. And then you come to the live quarterly meeting, you get inspired on a new topic, because at each live quarterly meeting we drill a mile deep and an inch wide into some topic about managing your law firm business. And then you continue to meet with your CEO. As your business grows, you may start to meet with a COO to help you implement policies and procedures. And as your business grows even further, you may decide to start meeting with a CFO to help you manage your business by the numbers. But regardless, all these people are part of your team, and they meet with you every single month, not just at the live quarterly meetings. The live quarterly meetings are about enhancing your ability to learn, enhancing your knowledge of a specific topic, and very, very importantly, about making connections with other small business owners at these live quarterly meetings who are your support structure. It's a community of people who believe in the systems and the subsystems and how paying attention to these things will help your business to grow a lot faster than most people that own these types of businesses believe that it can.
You know how true that is, and I'll share. Lawyers watching today, you may be skeptical and say, well, of course Christopher is going to share how great they are. And trust me, they are. I have been fortunate enough to be invited to share about my book, The Naked Lawyer, right here. I don't want to pull off my earpiece. And I get 10 minutes because I like to talk. And otherwise, I'd be up there for an hour, and then everyone would be snoring. But all kidding aside, I have watched lawyers come in and I always say this, that they look physically different. They were coming in doing revenues of maybe $100,000 a year. This is someone who's gone to law school, who's obviously bright, who's hardworking. They want to succeed, but they're just scraping to get by. I mean, they're not bankrupt. They're not going out of business, but they have this like suffering and sacrifice thing going on. Yeah. And it's just, and I've watched over the years, here we are 3-4 years into my relationship with How to Manage a Small Law Firm, and I don't work, I don't get money, I'm not a paid spokesperson, but at the end of the day, to see how people have transformed their lives, who have gone from making in the low hundreds to making millions in revenues, is a testament to the incredible value you will get by joining How to Manage a Small Law Firm. And I sit there, and I always like to say this, I used to come in like Elvis. I come in, Elvis has left the building. I go do my number and get the hell out of there. And, because I thought that's what I did. But then as I came a little early, learned a little, and then I stayed a little later, now I sit there and I watched your whole presentation, Christopher, taking copious notes. I mean, I'm getting value that I'm saying, hey, I'm getting the value that lawyers are paying. I can apply it to my business. So I've seen it. Lawyers watching this, please make it a priority to the information is at the bottom of the screen here, how to manage a small law firm, /appointment, and make plans to go to Eden Rock. The rooms are discounted. If anything, you'll have a hell of a nice weekend. Great facility, second to none. But I promise you that you will learn so much about your law firm and yourself when you talk about systems and all the different things that go on, whatever this meeting is regarding live quarterly meeting. And you'll get to see peers, people just like you. It's not a bunch of gurus. Christopher, you are a lawyer. You have a successful. You're a beautiful bride as a lawyer. You have a successful law firm. This is not those who cannot teach. The vast
Absolutely
majority of everyone on staff is a lawyer. So, and you're amongst your peers who are succeeding, and I just love it. I can't say enough good things about it. So lawyers, make it a point to attend the live quarterly meeting, and if you cannot attend, certainly make an appointment, and you'll be able to attend. The next one will be in January, obviously, and that's that. Well, Christopher, as always, a pleasure speaking with you. The information, we tickled them and teased them today with a little bit about systems, but how easily they can implement that and what a difference that will make. And we sure hope that we see a lot of you watching this down at Eden Rock, and or contact Christopher and or his team at the information that's been shown during this whole episode. But Christopher, always a pleasure. I thank you so much for taking the time today, and I'll look forward to seeing you down at Eden Rock here in the near future, and we'll talk soon. Thanks so much again.
Excellent. Thank you, Michael. It's been a real pleasure being on. I appreciate the opportunity, and we hope to see you all at the Eden Rock.
Well, thank you again. I'll be right back with my final thoughts for today's show. Well, what an incredible show we had today with Christopher Anderson, who is the VP and General Counsel of How to Manage a Small Law Firm, who shared today how important and critical systems are to the successful running of your business, and how easily it is to implement that too. It is a key component of your business. Without it, you're going to kind of grind through it. So absolutely positively you want to implement that. Now, the second thing we talked about with Christopher is just next month, October 16th through the 18th, is their next live quarterly meeting. And Christopher will be there. You'll be able to hear, different ideas that will be shared there. You can certainly speak in person to Christopher. But the most important thing, if you're on the fence, and there's a money-back guarantee, and Christopher shared how you can go there, and across the bottom of the screen here, you'll be able to see how you can contact them online or via telephone. But more importantly, if you're on the fence, just think about it. You get to come and meet me, because I'll be there. That in and of itself is worth the price of admission, correct? Anyway, as we always talk about on our show, we do a book review. I do a book review, I should say. The Wedge by Randy Schwantz, to really determine, of course, building rapport is understood. Maybe someone watching didn't quite get that before, and if they didn't, great. But highly advise you to buy this on Amazon for $23. It's a very easy read. As you can see, it's a very thin book, just over 100 pages. But it's finding the key thing is finding the client's satisfaction with the incumbent, and how you can utilize that to your advantage and close sales time and time again, is which I do in my business. And then I always like to close with this. Hey, listen up, okay? I don't want you to be naked, whether it be on your professional liability, your office business insurance, harassment, discrimination, cyber liability, data breach, or any of that, yet alone these great guests that I bring that can help you grow your law firm and make it more profitable, more successful. So that's what this show is all about. And I hope you find great value in that. That is always my goal. And I always end with this. I wish you continued success, and I sure hope that you'll let me be a key part of that success too.
For more information about Michael and the services he provides, go to insuringlawyer.com. Also, you can get a free copy of his book, The Naked Lawyer, by visiting insuringlawyerbook.com or by calling 24/7 to hear a recording at 866-843-0101 to get a copy mailed to you today. And remember, make absolutely sure that you never, ever are left totally naked without the necessary insurance. See you next time.